New tonight, police making an arrest in overnight stabbing in North Wichita that hospitalized one person in what police are describing as a domestic violence incident. Just after 2:30 this morning, Wichita police were called to the 1200 block of North Bidding. While officers were responding, a 26-year-old man arrived at a local hospital with a stab wound to his abdomen. Officers learned that a 28-year-old man identified as the ex-boyfriend of a 29-year-old female resident arrived at the residence and then caused a disturbance. Now, during an altercation between the suspect and the 26-year-old victim, the suspect allegedly stabbed the victim in the abdomen. The suspect was located a short time later, taken into custody without incident, and then booked into the Sedgwick County Jail on charges of aggravated battery, simple assault, and criminal damage to property.